we got to this point. I think most of the problem is cultural. I think most social scientists would trace it back to the flipping of a conservative mindset, attitudes, social norms, shame even, the replacement of that with individual rights and liberty and putting yourself first. And, some people look at the divorce reform and things, but I think there's a very, very long tail to this. And I think, so that is, the issue has not just suddenly emerged. You're quite right. The modern British 16-year-old is more likely to have a TV in their bedroom than a father in the house, which is a shocking statistic. And the sad thing about that is that if you look at outcomes, all the quantitative social science is on our side of the argument. Family stability matters massively, not just for the family concerned, the children and the parents, but the wider community and the whole of society. And on every single metric, family instability predicts worse outcomes for children in terms of health, education, mental illness, employment sustainability, and criminality. And I'm afraid unless you're willing to be honest about it, about the importance of strong traditional model in married life and things, then I'm afraid you're not really contributing to you're part of the problem if you can't be honest about it. So the first thing I would do is open a window for defence of married family life and family stability in cultural discourse, which is what we try and do. And as I say, the facts are already on our side. What we need is better narratives, or stronger narratives rather, to make the case for it. But you also need stronger policies. And if you look across the policy spectrum, very, very few very strong pro-family policies in this country. I'll give you an example. If you were going to make a single tax reform that would help parents raising children, it would be full sharing of tax benefits between two parents. Right. And that's an obvious gain. And you go to Leeds and you speak to young families, young mothers and fathers in a cafe, and they will tell you if that would make a big difference to our lives, and it would make raising the children easier. If you don't pay tax until you earn sort of £26,000 together, you have some space and time to actually raise your own children. The problem is now, the incentive is for one of the parents to work full-time, the other to work part-time, they're juggling, and then you have very, very expensive childcare. But actually, if we had very strong support for family life in this country, a lot of that wouldn't be necessary. So we get better outcomes. So you've got to do things like that. So support all of those in housing and tax policy as far as you can, any policy. But I think I've got to be honest, it is downstream of culture as well. And until people can accept that, we're not going to get anywhere.